So tell me, have you ever dreamed of having the perfect craft room or like the dream journaling desk set up and you just realize that it just doesn't fit your lifestyle? Raise your hand, because that's me too. In this video, I'm going to be sharing how I transformed my ideal journaling storage scenario into a practical reality, especially as a busy mom in a smaller house. There are these massive craft storage bureaus that open up and within it you get this perfect craft area. So tuck it all away and it just looks like a beautiful white bureau or cabinet. And then you open it up to show not only a desk, but then all of your supplies perfectly organized and everything in its place, everything you may need in one spot. This dresser thing may or may not cost like $2,000. Cool, like really good idea. Also, yeah, actual needs though, do I really need a craft solution or a journaling solution that takes up half the room in my house? Probably not. I also, just because of my personality, I get bored really easily. So I like to be able to move from spot to spot within the house. Not only from, not only from the boredom standpoint, but also from the standpoint of like, this right here is where you're watching, but like the rest of this room is pretty much the rest of our public domain of this house. So to have the cabinet in this part of the house probably just wouldn't work, because I wouldn't be able to get the privacy that I need sometimes, or sometimes, you know, I just want to go somewhere else and do my work. So with this solution, this portable solution, I can work here at my main desk where I face out, or I can work at the dining room table, or I can like just grab my portable solution and move to the couch or my bedroom or the downstairs office, which you will see in a little bit. In terms of what I'll be sharing today, this is probably the most exciting thing. This is my Delfonics pouch, that is the main portable solution. And this is a personal pouch where I keep some stuff. This is like my everyday sort of thing. And I'll also be going over where I keep stuff stored in the basement, and then also kind of in my bedroom closet, which I know that sounds weird, but we'll get there. Oh, and this desk itself. This is the main drawer. So in here, I keep things that anybody in the family might need at any given time. I have a book ownership plate, which is my Ex Libris stamp. I have return address label stamps, both for myself and for the family. I have this battery charger, I don't know why. I keep envelopes and return address things, extra post-it notes and checkbooks in here. Keep notes for school right here. And I keep extra pads of paper, etc. here. Love these Pinesman notepads. This is my ink kit, just because I tend to be at my desk whenever I am needing to refill my fountain pen. So this is my kit. Even though it looks sort of illicit, it is definitely just my fountain pen kit, which has my bottle of Tom's Studio ink, which is the only ink I'm using right now, as well as a reserve bottle for whatever I decide to go in there. This usually doesn't live there. This usually lives in my purse, but we'll take that out. Tape, one rogue washi tape, erasers, clips that the kids might need, more erasers, random sticky notes, and scrap paper that I like to just use. Let's see how much I can reduce my carbon footprint, sort of thing. So let's hide my credit cards, because we don't want that on the internet. And that is the extent of this drawer. This is where I keep my work laptop, my personal laptop. The purpose of the basement storage system is long-term solutions and drawer organization. So let's go downstairs. Here we go in the basement. You can tell how much I care about home renovation because my bathroom is pink. Yes, it is. This is my very unexciting desk area. So the desk is kept pretty clean because I never know when I'm gonna want to come down here and do whatever I want. Let's go through the organization. This actually used to be doubled. There used to be 2 cabinets, and because I was feeling overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that I owned, I halved it and gave my partner the other drawer, but everything fits nicely in here. So these are the things that I use and I like, but that I don't necessarily need all the time. Top drawer. This is probably the most exciting drawer because it has things like stickers and washi reserve in this pouch that I got that I don't really use, but it works well for storage. I have printer ink in here, some random stickies, some random Kodak mini printer things. These are fountain pen things that I probably could declutter a little bit more. They're fountain pens that I don't use or parts of pens that I don't use. And then this is just kind of random stuff, water, brush, pen, extra scissors that I could probably declutter, but I feel like I can't because they're cute and little and black, so that's a whole thing for me. A Rogue Blackwing, this Travel and Sketch traveler's notebook watercolor case that I bought and then immediately regretted because I realized that the watercolors that I own in tubes are not very good. So while it's cool in theory, I do need to invest in better watercolors, but I'll show you what I've been using otherwise. This is literal mints that I was hoping to eat through and then use as a storage for something, whether it's stickers or something, I'm not really sure. TBD. Kaweco box full of clips. Squeeze! Squeeze. Clips, dog clips, penguin clips, regular clips, Apple Pencil tips, AirPod silicone dudes, so that if you feel like your AirPods don't fit very well, you can swap them out for these guys. Yes. And my You Got This stickers, which are almost gone. Second drawer. This is usually better organized, but this is my traveler's notebook drawer. So I have one bag for passport size stuff. This contains both notebooks that I have used already and ones that are brand new. MagSafe rings because I didn't know where else to put these. Blotting paper, extra Pinesman notepads, random notebooks like my MD paper notebook, and then this is the bag of regular size traveler's notebooks that are both finished and new. And then you have the ever famous craft binders for the completed regular traveler's notebook. I also do have this sterling ink notebook that I will probably use as my next journal once I'm done with my current one. So everything stays somewhat organized in here and it just works. It's not great, and I know eventually I will outgrow it, but for now, it's good. In here, I have sticker paper back here. So I have craft, I have matte, regular, and then I have transparent matte. Here I have a very small amount of, oh darn, what is it called? Cardstock, random cardstock, random note cards that I should probably do something with, and maybe a couple pages filled of a watercolor notebook that I cannot part with. Here is what used to be mostly sewing stuff that is now just kind of random stuff. So obviously the microphone, the embroidery hoops, a camera storage Velcro guy that I don't normally use, and random scraps of fabric for embroidery in case, God forbid, I ever get back into it and start doing stuff. Lisa Congdon Live Your Values deck, which I love in theory but have not used, and pliers. This works well as my auxiliary storage, and now let's go upstairs. Doggy. Okay. I'm actually gonna have to refer back to my notes here. 1 second. The office I just showed you downstairs used to have the printer because it made a lot of sense because there was a lot of space down there and the printer inks are there obviously. However, I realized that because I don't spend a lot of time down there, I would start to accumulate things that need to get scanned in. And or I wouldn't print things because it just felt so far away, guys. So far away. Like, talk about lazy. So I decided to move it upstairs, but because we're limited on space, there wasn't a really good spot for it to be out, nor do I really want to stare at a printer. It's not the biggest eyesore, but it's certainly not something that I want to look at all the time. So I decided to put it in my closet, and it's working out really well, actually. Here, come on, I'll show you. Please ignore the bag of laundry over there. So, of course, this is not very well organized. I had my partner make a lovely stand, a custom stand in here. That way we could have the printer and the lockbox. Pretty straightforward. I have my Olive and June nail polish stuff here, embroidery thread, and then my sewing kit, which actually usually doesn't live right there, but just happens to be there. Again, scrap paper because I like to reuse paper. But yeah, it works really well to have the printer and scanner right here. All I have to do is bring my laptop into the bedroom to scan something, or walk in here and make sure that the sticker paper is fed correctly. So I'm using my printer a lot more now, which is really good. It makes me happy, and it works out that there's a plug just right there that can go right into here, and everyone's happy. Yay for wireless printing. Now for the fun stuff, let me make sure that I'm in frame again and everything's all right. This is the bag that I throw into my bag. I use just a bag, like, you know, a canvas bag. I throw my traveler's notebook in there, my water bottle, and whatever else, Kindle or book. And this is the bag that goes in the bag because without this, things get so disorganized and so crazy. So I just have like personal stuff in here, very sexy things like saline nose spray, cream, and eye drops, and more nose spray because apparently that's a thing. Auxiliary medicine. So all the personal stuff goes in the back, and I like this pouch because it has an extra pouch inside. Yay for extra organization that isn't over-engineered. I really hit gold because I was looking for a pouch, like a pencil pouch, that would fit everything that wasn't insanely large. I was like thinking about it. I almost bought a few different things, and you know, that kind of starts the consumerism rabbit hole of like, oh, well, I bought this thing, but it only fits 2 things, or it's a little bit too long, or it smells weird, or the zipper doesn't quite work very well, or it's starting to fray and it just isn't working well. So I'm like, oh, maybe I can just actually just put my pens in here. And look, it is just long enough. Like, what? This is just the perfect solution for, this goes over here, for these pens and things that I want to hold and keep on me without bringing my whole kit, right? So I'm really excited about this because I cannot tell you the number of times I've been out with just my traveler's notebook. Oh, I should probably let it say hi, since that is like most of the reason that y'all are here. Thank you for that. This traveler's notebook. So I cannot tell you the number of times I've been out with this, especially with the pen loop that it has now been installed via Baumkuchen, and I'm like, I have everything I need, and then I'm like, oh no, I really wish I had a pencil. So this solves that problem. I have this mechanical pencil, you know, it's a mechanical pencil, and it looks extra cool. I don't have much else to say about it. This I use for book notes because I've taken to writing directly in books lately. I find that annotation is really good for my brain, helps to keep me engaged, and in general, fountain pens don't work very well in books, hardcover books, because I guess the paper is pulpier and a little bit more absorbent. So just, you know, a gel pen to write in books is really good. This is my ever favorite, as I throw it across the desk, is my Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen, soft tip. And then because I still need my Kaweco brass sport, even though I have my beautiful TWSBI mini. This guy also lives in there. Although I will say, I end up losing this all the time within my own house because it just kind of like floats to the bottom of one of my pockets and then I can't find it, or it gets stuck in a crevice of the couch, and then it's like, you know, the whole family is disrupted because I'm like, oh, guys, I can't find my fountain pen. I know that's dramatic, but it is what it is. Mommy's a little dramatic sometimes. So this is what goes in my bag all the time. So this is probably the most exciting part of the video, as I previewed before. This is my Delfonics pouch, which, guys, I'm not gonna lie, like, I know its purpose is to hold all your stuff, but it's like, it's busting out, and I don't necessarily love how things are going on inside, but let me give you a tour of how it is right now and how it's going. Is it still zoomed in? Yeah, okay, we're still recording, good. Over here we have sticky notes. I'm using these cloth and paper ones, not very sticky, but good Lord, Post-it does not make any neutral colors. Makes me very sad. And so there I have these. This is my adhesive part of my Delfonics pouch. I have 2 glue sticks, which, why 2? I don't know, probably because my kids steal one and then I'm like, where's my glue stick? Plus they're extra strength. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not. And I do have the last little bit of my Kokuyo dot liner, if I'm saying that correctly, which is just genius. Like, come on, it automatically opens with your little thumb guy. Like, that's pretty cool. This is my correction tape pouch. I have white and I have MD cream. These are the 4 pencils that I'm using in my workout journal, and these are my other Prismacolor pencils. These are empty. This is not. Whoops. This has a pencil sharpener, which you can see why that's a problem, because it goes all the way to the bottom, and then I might have to dig it out later. In the back, this is nice because it has a long pocket that you can choose whether or not you want to open. I'm currently using it for a random mini magazine that I made with my kiddo. And then, okay, so we have stickers and washi tape. And then my sticker release paper in the regular size, which you can tell I love the Serica Studio stuff. I love the Aaron Ware stickers. And I also have my own stickers a little bit in here as well. Stickers aren't something that I use a ton, even though I really love them. But that's, you know, that's just, if I try and fight it, it's really just me getting into an argument with my inner child, which is not good for anybody. Okay. Then this has a larger pocket here, which is where I keep my watercolor kit and my Traveler's brass ruler. This is my watercolor kit of choice. This is the Prima Marketing Tropicals palette, which has pretty much everything I need. As long as there's like a neutral and like some splash of color, that's good. I wish it was a lot slimmer, but it is what it is. And honestly, I don't use this very often, so it works. It works to be on my desk. Doesn't work so well when I want to be traveling, just because I find it to be too bulky. This is my like danger drawer. So my kids, if they go near this, I'm like, no. So these are my tweezers that I use for stickers. This is my X-Acto knife. This is the scrapbook cutter, the Midori scrapbook cutter, which has a tiny little blade, and this like rotates around if you want to be able to like cut something more complicated out. Still just trying to decide how to use it the best way, and if I really like it or if I just like using scissors. These are really great. These are supposedly non-stick scissors, which just works well for if you're cutting something out with sticker paper. Then for the inside, I have, let me take all this stuff out. So I have my, so in here, I have a section for erasers. So I keep a pink pearl on me to be able to polish my my brass Kaweco Sport fountain pen. And I keep a white eraser for drawing cleanup. In here I have like random tech stuff. So this is a USB-C cord and a tiny remote controller for my books, Palma. You can hook it up to your books, like any sort of like Android device, not a Kindle unfortunately, and just like use it to turn pages, which, you know, talk about, again, lazy. I guess that's the theme of this video, but that's fun. Plus it's like tiny and yellow. This is my tech pouch where I have a phone, a portable phone mount. I have my Mini 2 Retro Kodak portable printer, which is funny because I never actually take it with me anywhere, so it's like portable not being used to its full extent. And then I have my USB-C SD card reader, also does micro SD, but I only use the SD for my Fuji camera here, which is actually really cool. Now that I have a USB-C phone, I can plug it in directly to my phone, so I don't have to like whip out my laptop or my iPad to be able to transfer photos from my camera to my iPad. And then in here I have a corner radius cutter, which I use often. I'm really glad I bought it, even though I was skeptical that I would get the most use out of it, but it's nice. And then in the main compartment, this is where I kind of like end up having a little bit of a problem with it, is because once you have everything piled in here, there's not actually a lot of room in the pouch itself. So I keep these 2 bottles of ink in here, and I realized that I like having the bottles of ink upright. I used to have them in the drawer in the desk, but I like to be able to see where the ink actually is, and when they're tipped over, you can't do that, obviously. So I have this Shikiori purple and Tom Studio pigment black. I'm not like fully dedicated to either one, just trying to use them up before I buy anything else. And then I have a USB-C brick. In here, I also keep my scrapbook. This is like my scrap notebook now. Like, this is what I'll take with me if I'm going out and I really don't have a lot of space and I just want to put it in my mini purse. And you can see I've already cut some pages out of where I've journaled and then cut it out to put it in my real journal. So this is a Sarika Studio grid notebook. And then I also have my workout journal traveler's notebook, which I shared in my last video. And then I also shove in my Eurolukio pouch, which is not being used right now, which kind of makes me sad, but it is what it is, guys. Like, I will come back to this eventually. I found that it's circular for me, and this will always have a special place in my heart because, I mean, look at it, it's awesome. So for right now, I'm just keeping some random stuff in here. It can be really nice if I am traveling and I want to put my books Palma in here. I have my Sarasa mark-on, which I really like for annotating books, but I just am using my Muji right now. Blackwing, a pencil extender. These are like things that I really like to have on hand, but I don't reach for all the time. This is a very tiny eraser, which is nice to have for detail work. A water brush. It's a mini water brush, which makes it even cuter, and yay. And then I have a random fountain pen, which is discontinued, which I'm actually pretty upset about. This is a great one because it's so small and it has a really nice kind of like snapping and release mechanism, and it's smooth to write with. I like it. I have it filled with my Majestic Maple Syrup from Ferris Wheel Press right now. And this is the Tom's Lumos Mini, which is adorable because it could be a keychain if you wanted it to. I have the brush tip in there. So yeah, these are just like my second tier pens and such that live in here that are sad not to be in the daily rotation. And I can't believe I just anthropomorphized my pens on camera, but that's what it is. Sorry guys. So this sticks back here for now, just because I like to look at it because it's cute with the pins. Momo Miso South Korea flag, and I don't remember where this eucalyptus came from, but eucalyptus was our wedding flower. So that is that. Okay. I really like having minimal supplies for everything. It helps me be able to make sure I'm using most of my things, even though now that I've showed you everything, I'm kind of like, okay, well, what else can I get rid of in order to simplify my life even more and just not even have the burden of supplies that I don't use or that I don't enjoy using. Anyway, the less I have, the better I function. I feel also like by paring down the amount of supplies I have, like I shared in my luxury minimal pen video, it helps me to really be able to consider whether I want to keep or to buy something that may or may not stay in my life because it isn't a perfect solution for me. So in a way, it helps me prevent overconsumption. I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found some value in it. Let me know how you're keeping your storage managed, how you end up using things, like especially from a portable perspective, because I'm always interested to hear about your solutions as well. I hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.